birds of fire in the approaching sunset wheeled and turned as one in their flocks, like banners of waving silk. From a low-walled courtyard on the white marble island of Haji Ali Mosque, I watched pilgrims and pious local residents wend and weave, leaving the shrine for the shore along the flat stone path.
So what does the Haji Ali Shrine mean to you?
Well, it's a place of peace, a place of solitude, a place where people from all over the city make their journey to try to find some sense of forgiveness for the things they've done in the past. But it also happened to be a place where gangsters in Bombay, if they knew that they were going to make a confrontation with another gang, a confrontation, a war that might end in them losing their lives, we would go there. We would wash first and bathe. We would then make this journey across to Haji Ali, to the saint. We would ask that we be prepared for what may come. And then we walk back along that path and think only about the future and have cut the tie with the past.
In the book, Lynn sort of has this time with the mafia that almost sounds magical in a way. Is that indicative of your experiences with the mafia?
No, there was a lot more to it than that. And in the sequel to Shantaram, which I've been writing for the last 4 years, the book deals with a lot more with the conflict between different gangs. There's a certain amount of it in Shantaram, a little bit, especially at the end of the book. But the actual day-to-day conflict, the grinding day-to-day conflict, isn't in that book, because the theme of the book is the exile experience. And it's more relevant to the next book, the theme of which is the search. And so we see an exploration of that whole day-to-day conflict level, the struggle to survive, the struggle for another few centimeters of territory that each gang will try to get, because that gives them the advantage over the other. So that, if you like, that pot full of crabs or pot full of lobsters who are all pulling one another in, you never have to put a lid on a pot of lobsters because they can't get out. As soon as one gets near the edge, the others will pull him back. And so they never escape. And that whole struggle is in the next book.
Are you still friends with your mob mates? Do you still speak to them?
Not really. I mean, most of them are dead. Most of they either retired and left and went away, or the older ones, and the ones who are more my age have mostly died. The younger ones who are involved today are the children of the men I knew in those years, and I see them from time to time, and they will stop me and say, "My dad knew you in another time," and so forth, and say, "I hope he was on my side." And they all laugh and say, "No, my dad liked you and it was okay," and so on. But I don't have any day-to-day contact with people who are involved in crime, because my life changed.
You were eventually recaptured and sent back to finish your sentence in Australia. When you were on the run, you obviously couldn't see any of your family, including your little daughter, of whom you'd lost custody. Have you re-established contact with them now?
Yes, with all my family, and very, very lucky. You know, one of the things I've discovered about prisons is that most of the men I've met in there are not really bad men, they're sad men from situations where there isn't a lot of love. And when I was reunited with my family, in a sense, I expected that I might find anger and resentment and for what I'd put them through all those years, but they weren't. I'm so tremendously lucky because they were so loving and forgiving that it helped me to get through the experience and to survive and to have the strength to keep going and to say, I will stay on this path. I won't take drugs. I won't drink alcohol and so forth. I won't go in these negative directions. I'll stay in a positive direction because they were so loving and forgiving.
It was inevitable, I guess, that Shantaram would one day be made into a movie. Johnny Depp is going to be playing, ostensibly, you. Shantaram is nearly 1,000 pages long. Are you at all worried that the movie might skim over important parts that are in the book?
No, I'm not worried about that at all. I think I'm much less precious about it than, say, Warner Brothers or the very talented producer Graham King. Generally speaking, I think film has to be free to express itself. And if that means completely changing it and saying, I want to take this out, and I want to go in this direction, I think they have to be free to do that. And I don't fear that at all.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Loved it.
No, it's a pleasure.